Hey guys, is it going? I think we're going here. My computer's kind of being slow, my laptop. Um, as you can see, I didn't cover my crap up today, so you're just gonna have to look at it. Look at it in all of its glory. Well, you haven't seen the rest of the place. Anyway, first I'm gonna get out of the way some self promotion. Today, my little chat book, became available for pre-order for $7.50 at Gregory Short's little publishing company, and I'll leave that link below if anybody would like to pre-order that. I'm not getting paid for this book, just so you don't think I'm trying to get money out of y'all for me. It's actually, he's just starting out, and I'm going to be his first published book for his company, and he's sending me some that I can give away, and the money he's going to make from his website will actually go to pay for having those books made, and perhaps get some more people interested in his little company, some more writers even. There's also a website to submit your short stories and poetry and things like that, and he will go over it and see if he wants to, or you both come to an agreement to have a little book published on his company. And I encourage you to support all small businesses, which is what this is doing. And the other news is that I'm going to be in another film. It's going to be a short film this time. For now, I think it's in September, in the middle of September sometime. I'm just going to be an extra again, and it's a movie. It's a little sequel to Stephen King's Salem's Lot. If you remember, it's about vampires, and this is just a short film sequel to that. A new and upcoming director, and it stars Lance Henriksen. I think I'm saying that name correctly. If you remember Lance Henriksen, he was in the Alien films, the earlier Aliens. He was like the cyborg dude in those movies, and I guess I will be sitting at the bar and having a drink with Lance Henriksen, or I'll be in the background at the bar somewhere. And that's going to be in September. I don't know when that'll probably be released next year sometime or something. And that's my news again. The candy corn thing I already did a month ago, month and a half. And I still have to film the second half of that. And there's no date on that one yet. I'm hoping it's not the same time as this other one, but we'll find out. And this should be a fairly short video. I don't have a whole bunch of stuff today. I do have another pile of records. And first off, this is a 2004 reissue of Love. I like these guys' music. I'm fairly new to them. Here's a crazy soundtrack to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nietzsche. Okay. Inside there, and there's a poster in here which I have not looked at yet. There you go, little Jack in there with somebody's name down at the bottom there. Jack Nicholson. You all remember that movie, One Flew Over? Well, I'm sure you do. The younger folks might not know what it is. I always liked the scenes he had with Will Sampson. And those scenes where they're sitting on a bench in a hallway or something, and I believe it's the character Jack Nicholson plays hands Will Sampson a stick of gum, or is it the other way around? I can't remember. I just remember. I have to watch that again, but I remember the scene at the end where he throws that the big Indian dude throws that water fountain out the window and escapes. Busts the window out and he escapes, and that's after they lobotomized the poor old Jack there. And here we have Ray Charles' Greatest Hits, Georgia on My Mind. I have several of his records, but I wanted the Greatest Hits. And this is Tom Waits' Frank's Wild Years on some sort of direct metal mastering. I have no clue what that is. Maybe this is supposed to sound better or something. Another Greatest Hits, Loretta Lynn. I also have several of her records, but I wanted this because this actually has her singing Coal Miner's Daughter instead of Sissy Spacek from that movie. But Sissy Spacek actually did that's one of my favorite movies also, was Coal Miner's Daughter with Sissy Spacek. Buck Owens and his buckaroo, Sweet Rosie Jones. Hello, happiness, goodbye, loneliness. There's another Nancy Sinatra. I couldn't remember if I already had this, but I seen this and I'm like, oh, I better grab it. I don't remember. Country My Way, Nancy Sinatra. And I already talked about her in the last video. Go back and watch my other videos, people. There's 500 and some videos of hugely, mostly boring entertainment. I don't know. You can watch it. And here's a last couple of records. These I have no clue who these people are. It's another couple of blind buys. I just thought the covers looked really cool. And the first one is the Flamin' Groovies, a radio station thing, edition. Anybody know who the Flamin' Groovies are? I just thought that looked interesting. Gatefold. And here's another one. I have no clue who this is. I just thought the cover looked cool. The Easy Beats, Friday on My Mind. They have some interesting pinstripe jackets going, and their Beatles hair type cuts on the back there. I'm surprised they don't have their heads floating in space. A lot of these Beatles type groups then were copying the photography style or something back then. They would just have their head there, severed heads floating in open space. And those are the records. And now I have some comic books I'll just show real quick. I collect vintage horror comics. This is like $1. Secrets of the Haunted House, Dig the Plant Man. And these next ones are a little more hard to find. The Vault of Evil, Midnight in the Haunted Manor. The Thing at the Window. I've had a few of those over the years. Things at the Window. And that's more stories. Okay, The Thing at the Window. One time, back in the 90s, when I was going to college, I had a girlfriend then, and we had gotten in an argument, and I told her she needed to leave. you need to go. You got to go. I won't discuss the whole thing, but anyway, she ended up, I don't know, I remember real early in the morning, I heard her. It kind of woke me up. I'm like, oh. So I went to the window, and there she was. She didn't even leave. She actually laid outside of the window and slept most of the night outside of my window. Is that sad or romantic or whatever? I let her back in, and we ended up being together for like 13 years until stuff went on. Anyway, Vault of Evil, A Grave Honeymoon. Vault of Evil. She's changing into some type of a monster there. Vault of Evil. No man escapes alive from the Vault of Evil. And she's apparently murdered this man, and the other murdered people that she's killed are in the back, or the men. She's some sort of black widow. Face that follows. And I was just talking about that story about somebody at the window, and here it says, Linda, behind you, look out. And that was the girl's name that I was with. Her name was Linda. Is that some sort of coincidence? Anyways, well, that's the comics. Now we just got a couple of paper books, and here we have Jack Kerouac, Tristessa, a new and hauntingly different novel about a morphine-rocked prostitute. And this is an old Avon paperback. I'm riding along with Tristessa in the cab, drunk, with a big bottle of Juarez bourbon whiskey in my railroad loot bag. Here I am in Mexico City, rainy Saturday night. Mysteries, old dream side streets where I'd walk through crowds of gloomy hobo Indians wrapped in tragic shawls enough to make you cry, and you thought you saw knives flashing beneath the folds. Tristessa is high, beautiful as ever, going home gaily to go to bed and enjoy her morphine. And here we have an old book from 1869. It's just some short stories, and it's called Fortune Teller. And I was pretty impressed with the first couple of pages. I haven't finished reading it, but I like the way who's this by again? By Charlotte Elizabeth, 1869. The gypsy woman was dressed in a short jacket of dark blue cloth, the skirts of which hung down a little way over a petticoat of strange patchwork. Stuffs of all colors seemed to have been used to mend and piece out the old dirty dark green that still remained. Her hat was of black beaver, very much the worse for wear, and it was tied under her chin with the red cotton handkerchief. Fastened to her back in a sort of bag, she carried a little child, whose bright black eyes shone out like jet from beneath its tangled hair. Its face was dirty, even more so than its mother's, and so sunburnt that it seemed never to have known the comfort of shade. Page 1. Besides her baby, the gypsy woman carried a wallet slung over one shoulder and hanging at her side, and a tattered apron was gathered up and knotted into the pieces of cord that served her for a belt. Altogether there was something so remarkable in their appearance that little Jessie, who was running before her mamma in the shady green lane, stopped to look with surprise at the gypsy woman, and then, rather frightened by the bold look of her piercing eyes, she turned back and ran to her mamma, taking hold of her hand and keeping close beside her. The gypsy passed them, making a low courtesy to the lady, but not speaking a word, and Jessie looked round to observe the baby, for it had laughed and crowed when it saw her. "I thought she had been a beggar woman, mamma," said Jessie, "but she did not ask for anything. How black her eyes are, and the baby's too." "They are gypsies, my dear," said Mrs. Howes, "and gypsies do not often beg. but I am sorry to say that they often cheat and steal and do many other bad things. Where do they live, Mama? They are wanderers over the earth, having no settled home, Jessie. They are found in most countries, and are very nearly the same everywhere. It is not known exactly from whence they came, but they are generally supposed to be what their name expresses, Egyptians. It is foretold by the prophets that the mighty Egyptians should become the basis of all people, and that they should be scattered along all nations. We here are the threat of the Lord against them, as exactly fulfilled as that against the Jews. That last part I didn't quite understand, but to me, it's just somebody jumping to conclusions about the way somebody looks. Now, I go downtown and I see all kinds of homeless people dressed in tattered clothes, carrying walking sticks. Some look like hippies, punks, and other types of stuff. And do I go up to them and automatically think they must be gypsies? Maybe they're the modern day gypsies, because people always jump to the conclusion that they are thieves, beggars, and other criminals, that sort of stuff. But in all actuality, there might just be people having a hard time. And I'm sure there are other elements mixed in there. And that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Pre-order my book down below. Remember, I don't get paid. This is just to help a small publisher get started. And Colin over and out, and Weirdos Unite.